Let's now review fixed price formats. Fixed price listings generally contain multiple quantities in each listing, versus auctions having only single quantities. Fixed price listings are also usually long duration listings of 30 days or more. However, most importantly, fixed price listings on eBay are primarily ranked based on sales history. The more a listing sells, the higher it will be ranked, and thus it will sell even more. It's like sort of a halo effect. For example, if you have two sellers who are selling the exact same product, and seller A's listing has sold 30 units versus seller B's listing, which has only sold 10 units, more than likely seller A's listing will be ranked higher than seller B's listing, and therefore get more exposure, click-throughs, and eventually selling opportunities. Now let's go to the Terapeak software. Because we're reviewing fixed price listings, we should go to the left panel and change the filter criteria to fixed price listings. You can see the stats are a little bit different. Now we have an average selling price of $19.52, a sell-through rate of 32.44%, and most importantly, you'll notice this statistics. Successful listings are a total of 73. However, these 73 listings generated 345 items being sold. That's almost about 5 items sold per listing, which is different from auction listings, which are single quantity. If we click on the top sellers option on the left panel, you can see that the numbers are even more skewed. Here you'll see a list of top sellers selling plastic poker cards. And if you look to the right, for example, you'll see seller number 1. 5 successful listings generated 79 items. That's approximately 20 items sold per listing. You can scroll down, for example, seller number 6. It's about 6 to 7 items sold per listing. So when you look at top sellers, you can basically bank on the fact that these top sellers have great sales history. So therefore, they're ranked higher on search results. Most of the sellers that we see in the top 10 garner more sales per listing than the average which we calculated on the previous screen of 5 successful items per listing. Learning from top sellers. If you have a superior product at a great price, it is best to not upload as many listings, and instead upload multiple quantity listings so as to accumulate sales history and therefore get a better ranking. Fixed price listings are unique. When we think in terms of the supply and demand model, supply is usually limitless as sellers list multiple quantity on fixed price formats, and the duration is usually GTC. Because of this, supply is essentially limitless or constant. Even if you add 1,000 units onto a fixed price listing, it is not apparent to the buyer. Instead, the buyer makes his purchasing decision based on price. Therefore, with fixed price listings, we control the supply and demand graph via price. So if we reflect back to the demand graph, you'll see on the right side, the lower the price, the higher the demand, the more quantity you will sell. So therefore, a declining demand graph. So if we apply the laws of economics onto a real eBay market economy, it works like this. I'll give you an example. Traditional buyers may sort by price to find low price listings and make their purchase. Eventually, when the volume of sales increases, the ranking of the low price listing moves up and gets even more exposure, essentially creating a snowball effect. And again, eventually, assuming all else equal, the low price fixed price listing will be ranked number 1 and also have the largest sales history. Similar to the auction format scenario that we previously discussed, when we want to optimize our profitability under the laws of supply and demand, we have to also make assumptions, choose the best assumption, and validate our assumption. If you recall, sellers averaged about 5 items sold per listing. Let's go back to the Terapeak software. Our goal is to move ahead of the average by having a superior pricing point to garner more recent sales history. To do this, we have to make assumptions. For example, considering the average price is at about $19.52, if I discount the price by 10% on my listing, can I expect to move 5 or more items? If I can successfully do so, I can accumulate more sales history than my average competitor, and therefore achieve reasonable exposure and rank in search results. The price disparity between me and the top-ranked seller will become more noticeable then, so that I can garner even more sales. When making assumptions about lowering the price, it is important to also calculate profitability via the profitability calculator that we displayed earlier. Let's go back to that table. Let's go ahead and modify this table according to real Terapeak statistics. So let's start with the price. Originally, we saw the price at $19.52 on average for a fixed price listing. However, we claimed that our strategy was to put a 10% discount to this. So therefore, we probably priced it at around $17.57. We would also assume that our cost structure is the same. It's at $10 for the product cost. The insertion fee would be 50 cents for a single fixed price listing. And we'd probably assume that's a 100% conversion rate or sell-through rate because there's only one multiple quantity fixed price listing and it's GTC and never ends. So therefore, you'll see the insertion fee is at 50 cents. And we'll also assume that final value fees and PayPal fees will remain constant, and they don't change no matter what format that you go to. And if we look at this scenario, you'll see that the profit per item sits at about $4.28 with a profit margin of 24.4%. So where this will change, according to your assumptions, would be the number of quantities sold. So basically here, we assume that we'll sell 5 quantity, and therefore it will lead to $21.40 in total profit. And our assumptions can be different depending on how we lower our price. And we could test all these profitability scenarios accordingly. After making your decision on price, we recommend that you track your results to make sure you meet your expectations. And to summarize once again, for fixed price recommendations, first, we recommend you to move up on the demand curve by changing your price and therefore selling more quantity. 2, choose the best pricing point according to your assumptions, which will generate the most profitability. And 3, track your results using Terapeak and make adjustments accordingly. If you have any further questions regarding this topic, you can see our contact details on this page. Thank you very much.